Hello Magic fans, I'm Beef and welcome back to another Historic Brawl gameplay video, and today we have an Ulalek fused Atrocity deck. Ulalek is a 5 mana 2/5 with Wooburg hybrid mana, meaning you can either pay Wooburg or colourless mana or a combination thereof. So you can pay white and 4 colourless, blue for colourless and anything in between. It is 2/5 with Devoid, which means it is in theory colourless. And it has, whenever you cast an Eldrazi spell, you may pay 2 colourless. This is colourless, not generic. That is important. If you do copy all spells you control, then copy all other activated and triggered abilities you control, you may choose new targets for the copy. So what does this mean? So basically, a lot of Eldrazi have cast triggers. So if you, for example, cast a Ulamog, which has when you cast your spell, exile 2 target permanents. So if you cast Ulamog and have 2 colourless left over, you can pay 2. This will copy the cast trigger, so you can exile 2 more permanents. And also copy the Ulamog. But because Ulamog is legendary, it won't matter. Whereas, say, if you cast a Thought Knot Seer, which is... There we go. Whereas ETB, you look at opponent's hand, they exile a card. There won't be any cast triggers to copy, but you will get 2 copies of the Thought Knot Seer, so you get 2 ETBs. It's a very powerful trigger, however, it is quite slow. It doesn't do anything for turn it enters the battlefield, and while a lot of commanders don't, there are ways around that. For example, in Nadu, which is one of the most powerful commanders at the moment, while in theory it doesn't do anything for turn ETBs, if your opponent tries to remove it, you're going to get value. And if you wait, just have an extra mana lying around, you can keep up, say, protection, which means you can get that value. You know, to play Ulalek and then play an Eldrazi, another Eldrazi, and pay that 2 mana, you're going to need like 9 mana at the minimum to, say, copy It Hails the End or Wastegate Battle Mage, which is not impossible, but it's unlikely. And that is, I think, the problem with the deck. While I've not recorded the gameplay yet, at the time of recording the intro, I have obviously played practice games. And of the 15 games I played, 4 were on the play. And at one point it was 1 in 12 were on the play. So I haven't really been able to get a good, fair feel of how the deck is. But I say it is slow. It can take a while to get going. And as you can see, we have a lot of ramp cards. Because one of the problems as well is that colourless cost. A lot of Eldrazi require colourless, and I say that is not generic. So we have a lot of things like Palladium Mirror and Warm Power Stone and Hedron Archive and Dreamstone Hedron, which generate a lot of colourless mana, but also they are a lot easier to remove than, say, a land. In the land base, we do have all the Pain lands because they can tap for colourless. We also have all the Shock lands, and then all the fetch lands, as well as the new Ugin's Labyrinth, a very powerful card from Modern Horizons 3. Also Inventor's Fair, because we're going to have a lot of artifacts out, and this is a great way to fetch up another artifact, probably Forsaken Monument. I'm not going to go through the cards one by one, but the piles are, we have Ramp here. Said most of the Ramp cards everyone recognises. We do have Sylvan Squire, which is not technically a Ramp card, but you search for library for land, put in your hand. It is any land. So this is a great way to get Ugin's Labyrinth, or maybe Inventor's Fair, or if we need to fix the colour. And then your things, as I said, Palladium Mirror, Warm Power Stone, Hedron Archive that can tap for multiple colourless. Path of Annihilation creates 2 of the Eldrazi spawn, which you can sacrifice for colourless. You don't need to tap the spawn, so you can sacrifice them the same turn they come down. Next up, we have interaction with Eldrazi, or a creature of our type, which will be Eldrazi. So Realm Walker can play creatures off the top of our library of that type. Herald Taunt reduces the cost. Incubator reduces the cost. Mystic Forge, you can just play colourless spells into your library, which is most of our spells. Roaming Throne can double up the triggers of Eldrazi. Kindred Discovery, you draw a card when a creature ETBs or attacks, which is very powerful. And Echoes of Eternity, if you play a colourless spell, if a colourless spell triggers, or it triggers the permanent of another. It triggers a bit of another opponent you control, you double it, and when you cast a colourless spell, you copy it. This is a Eldrazi card. It is a Kindred, which is the renamed tribal. So if you have the mana, you can play this and copy it with Ulalek, getting out 2 of these, which is very powerful, which will copy all your colourless spells, which is what most of our spells are. So, and obviously the main one is all our Eldrazi. Really good ones to copy. and realistic ones to copy. Eldrazi Linebreaker. Begin the combat in your turn. Type creature you control gains haste and gains X plus 0 to end a turn, where X is the number of Eldrazi you control. So this by itself is essentially 4-3 with Trample and Haste, but you get down multiples of these. If you can copy them with Ulalek, you'll be giving other things haste and a big boost as well. My other favourite one is Titan's Vanguard. When you cast it and whenever it attacks, you put a +1/+1 counter on each creature, colourless creature you control. Copying this and then maybe giving 1 or 2 haste with Linebreaker, you're just going to make your board huge. And obviously things like being able to copy Null Drifter and draw 4 cards. This gets more unrealistic because you do need 2 colourless to copy. And I say colourless is rarer than coloured, and I've had games where I've literally just drawn all my shock lands, all my fetch lands, and not drawn any of the pain lands, and I've had to rely on creatures or artifacts for colourless, and if they get removed then you're in trouble. And then the final one is just good cards. Up the beanstalk, we're going to be playing a lot of cards with mana value 5 or more. Kozilek's Unsealing, great way to draw extra cards if you cast a creature spell with 7 or more, and then if you use 4, 5 or 6 you ramp. Ugin's Binding is a very powerful card. It's a 3 mana bounce spell, which is not very effective, but then when it's in your graveyard, if you cast a colourless spell with mana value 7 or greater, you may exile it. When you do, you bounce everything your opponent controls. So it is a Cyclonic Rift from your graveyard. Mirari's Wake, just an incredibly powerful enchantment. Immortal Sun, we only have 1 Planeswalker, but so it doesn't really affect us. Reduces the cost of all our spells, pumps all our creatures to an extra card. And our 1 Planeswalker is Ugin, so it reduces the cost of all colourless spells, and then we can get some card advantage with the +1, and then interaction with the -3. Big boy Ugin. Ugin Spirit Dragon is banned in Historic Brawl, so we can't play that. So that's the deck. As I said, in the practice, we just had too many games on the draw to really get an idea of how it plays. So hopefully when I record the gameplay, we get some more games on the play. But it is quite a slow deck, but when it comes off, it's very powerful. Hope you all enjoy it. If you do, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the gameplay. Oh, up against Ulamog, so another colourless Eldrazi ramp style deck. We are on the draw, of course we are. But we have a hand of pretty decent ramp. We can play Llanowar Elves turn 1, turn 3 Hedron Archive, and then go from there. They're ramping themselves. We'll play out the... There's nothing we can play this turn, so play that out. Swing with the Elves. Next turn we can get down the Archive. The turn after that, Mortal Sun. They are a pure monocolour, well, colourless deck, sorry. We will play out the Wastes and play out the Archive. I would quite like some smaller Eldrazi to maybe copy. I think they're going to be able to get Ulalek out next turn. We probably should have played that untapped, and then we could have got down the Signet. But I think they're just going to be able to play Ugin. They can definitely play Ugin next turn. Oh, let's play out the river. Well, they don't have any cards in hand to manifest, but we do. But obviously they're just going to play Ugin and Exile, probably Kozilek. Yep. Yeah, so that's game over. Being on the draw and them having the Flesh Raker out on curve really did it in for us. Kalia, so they'll be able to put in some big creatures, which is going to be an issue, especially since we are on the draw. Again, this is the third game. I don't know if it's something to do with the deck. We'll be able to reveal Devour of Destiny and basically get a pick of our top 4. I think we take the Mystic. Turn 2, we can play the Iron Crag. And next turn we can play Ulalek, but we really need to get some more plays. I'm going to play up the Beanstalk, so at least we can draw off Ulalek next turn. Green, white, blue. Well, the Hedron next turn, if we survive, we'll be able to play another. We'll have a big turn the turn afterwards. But that is a big if. Yeah, they ephemerate the Dracosaur to it's untapped. So I'm going to play out the Drowner. I'm going to play out the Hedron. They'll draw as a card. And then play this out. Name an Eldrazi. And that way, if we survive, we have to have a really big turn. We might even be able to double up Ulamog triggers. Yeah, we will be able to. So it depends what they can put into play with Kalia. Can even cast Emrakul. Did they have no creature to put into play with Kalia? So how much do we have? We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. So I don't think there's any way we can copy Emrakul. But we don't really need to. Swinging with our Aurelia and our Ulalek. Let's see what they can do. We are at 5, so we are in a bad, perilous place. The next turn we'll be able to copy Ulamog or Devour of Destiny. Or in fact Elder Deep Fiend. We can copy everything in our hand. But that is if we get another go. Well, that'll do it. I might just play out Ulamog to take out a couple of... Everything's a creature. So I think we just play out Ulamog. Exile their land tax. Exile their... Probably don't... Well, exile their land tax was a waste. But I think they saw the writing on the wall. We would have been dead, I think, if they hadn't whiffed with their Kalia. And they had a full hand, so I'm not sure if they were just unlucky or their deck hadn't been built correctly. But either way, a really good win. Aragorn, so a multicoloured Matters deck. Well, we have a lot of ramp, so that's good. And we are on the play, which is rare. So I will keep this. Hopefully we can draw some more action. Turn 2 Signet, turn 3 Mir, and I don't think I'll be able to play the Idol. On the same turn. We will get a breeding pool. And we'll play out the territory. Name Eldrazi. Let's play the Signet. If the Idol didn't come into play tapped, we would play the Idol and the Mir on the same turn, but that's irritating. So assuming it survives next turn, we can play the Idol and the Iron Crag. Obviously that is a big assumption. We have seen they are more than happy to destroy things. So yeah, let's just play out. Swinging with the Mir. Probably didn't need a shock in the Sacred Foundry then. Next turn we can play Ulalek. Or do we just play out the... Let's play our hand. Name Eldrazi. Next turn we should just be able to play Kozilek and draw 7 cards. Obviously assuming our Palladium Mir Survives. Aragorn's a 10-10. That's going to be a bit of an issue. I wouldn't mind drawing Ulamog. That is not Ulamog, but well, we'll get down to 12-12. Draw a lot of land. Next turn, the Devourer of Destiny can take care of Aragorn. That's annoying. I'm going to have to chump with the Roaming Throne. We'll get a Plains, I suppose. Yeah. Them telling I take out Kozilek was, well, basically put an end to us there. Against Mondrak, so a mono white tokens deck. Linebreaker's a good card, and so is Vanguard. They're great to be able to copy. We don't have any ramp before turn 6, and we are on the draw, so I think this is a mulligan. Well, if we can get to Mirara's Wake, that will really help. And turn 4, Hedron Archive. So I think this is a keeper, but it's not a great hand. They're going to be able to create a token. No kicker, unfortunately. We can take out the Mind Stone or the well, we can't take out the Ocelot Pride, sorry. What we can do is if we can get a green source, we can Sylvan Scry in for Ugin's Labyrinth. So next turn we can ramp quite a bit. Hold back. So play out the Labyrinth. Imprint Emrakul. Play out the Archive. And then play out the Thief. We'll exile the Helm of the Host. Fair enough. It is indestructible, so I'm not going to chump. Play out the Brushland. Play out the Mirara's Wake. And we'll take 1. And we'll play out the Signet. Yeah, that's going to get out of hand. We could really do with drawing some payoffs. We're not in a position to be able to cast Emrakul yet, I don't think. I will chump with the Thief. Well, not chump, just block. They might be able to destroy it, but... that's not what we wanted. We'll play out Ulalek. Play out the Vista. Kind of annoyed it tapped Ugin's Labyrinth for that, because now we can't get back Emrakul at the end of our turn. We might be able to cast it as well. This is where they just triple up, double up all their tokens. And gain a bunch of life. But we're not too far away from being able to cast Emrakul, so... let's crack our Vista. Just get a forest. Line Breaker's a good card. Let's crack this now. And we'll just get a Hallowed Fountain. So we have 2, 4, so that's 6, 7, 9, 11. I know they're going to gain their life, but we should be able to cast Emrakul next turn. I do have to keep them back, unfortunately. If we survive, we can get back Emrakul at the end of this turn. If we survive. To put us down to 6. Yeah, they gain a bunch of life. Well, let's play our Emrakul. So you don't know what doubling up Emrakul's cast trigger does. We will keep the actual Emrakul. Play out Marsh Flats. We can give Emrakul haste. And give it a big old buff. 26, 14. Not bad. So, we control their turn. Right, what do I have? Tangible Virtue, Sunfall. Could just Sunfall. But they will get to go again. Right, what we'll do... You can attack. You can attack. You can attack. You can attack. So that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have 5. So we will kill that, 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 and then that. Oh, that's going to be... Should have done this before combat, really. Yeah, I think I would have done some before combat. We might have been in a better position. Play out of planes. Do it one more time. So doubling up the attached to the Emrakul's triggers does not cause you to control their turn twice. Yeah, so we're dead. Probably shouldn't have attacked with Emrakul on that turn either. Yeah, some misplays there. But I think if we were on the play, we would have been in a much better position. Oh, everyone's favourite Nicol Bolas. So we can search up any land we want, although we haven't got a 7-drop in our hand for Ugin's Labyrinth, which is unfortunate, but we are on the play. So I will keep this because the Void Claw can ramp us pretty well. We will get a breeding pool. And it went tapped. Let's just play out a mountain. We'll get the Labyrinth in case next turn we do draw a 7-drop. But next turn we can play the Void Claw. Assuming it doesn't get countered. No counter, but they may have removal. Then next turn we can get out the Spawn Game Commander or... that's unfortunate. We will play our Steam Vents and get out our Mystic Forge. Well, goodbye Kindred Discovery. I think this turn we'll just play the Archive. See what's on top. Another land. They're pretty close to being able to play Nicol Bolas, which will basically be game over. Okay, I think we'll just concede there. We had nothing really going on, and them taking out our ramp card was not ideal. Oh, Nadu. So this is pretty much a loss. Especially since we are on the draw. We can bounce something, which is pretty good. And we have some small amount of ramp. So sure, we will keep this. We do need blue and green. Well, they can immediately play Nadu. Which they don't. Oh no, they can't, sorry. It's being stupid. We will get a breeding pool. We will play out Hallowed Fountain, shock it in. Play out the Void Craw. Or do we just bounce? Yeah, I'll play out the Void Craw. And then we'll go after and bounce the Scoot Swarm next turn. So we'll play this out, enter tapped. See, they will be able to get a trigger. I suppose we could just play out Ugin next turn. There's Nadu. They are stuck on lands. Well, not anymore by the looks of it. Right. Problem is, Ugin's just going to die. But it does get rid of the Scoot Swarm completely.
My presence alone guide you towards victory. Be gone, interloper.
And that does reduce the cost of Ugin's binding down to 1, which is pretty good. War in Earth is a massive problem. We have to hope they whiff on their Nadu triggers. Doppelgang? We could save Ugin. Sure. Hope they whiff. They might have a protection spell. Fair enough. I would quite like a 7-drop to bounce their entire board. That's not a 7-drop. But we can play out. Problem is, they're just going to turn our... they'll just turn our Ulalek into... they'll just utter insignificance our Ulalek. At least we can get rid of their Roaring Earth. Any 7-drop will be good, just so that we can bounce their entire board with Ugin's binding. That is not a 7-drop. Obviously, they've forgotten they can flash in the other insignificance. Or this is the weirdest rope I've ever seen. Well, this is fun. Obviously, we are in quite a lot of trouble. We don't have anything that can block Nadu. And their board is quite wide. Although we can block everything else. Maybe they've DC'd. It looks like they might actually have DC'd. Oh, no, they haven't. They're going to be able to get a lot of value, though. Luckily, they haven't got any landfall triggers in play, and the only thing they have in hand at the moment is utter insignificance. But the lands coming into play untapped is, I think that's a mistake, I think. Yeah, I think they changed that, and then Nadu is nowhere near as strong and a lot fairer. Because even with equipment you have to pay to equip, you can kind of like go on forever. That's odd. Well, I don't know why I didn't kick it there. I didn't really think it was worth it. They haven't got a land that really needs destroying. Let's get Inventor's Fair. If I can find it. There we go. So we don't have 3 or more artifacts, but hopefully we might at some point. And then if we survive, we can draw with the Void Claw. But that's a big if. I don't know why they didn't attack with Nadu. Wow. Are they bored or something? Or they AFK again. Well, there's a 7-drop we were looking for. This will bounce everything. So the equipment can't be done at instant speed. We draw 2. Break of Creation is going to be a really good draw, as we're going to gain a lot of life. Yeah, that's fine. It's annoying, we would have been able to copy the Break of Creation, but we can also emerge the Elder Deep Fiend, I think. Although it would cause them to generate a lot of card draw. So they rebuild their board. But next turn we can play Break of Creation, gain 16. Ooh, I'm glad I don't have the mana for counterspell. So we can probably up the beanstalk first. We have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We need 10. So yeah, we can up the beanstalk. Draw a card. So it's an 8-4. We're up to 25. That's pretty good. And we can crack this. Maybe get a green source if you have any left. We have 1. And then, yeah, I'll swing with an Old Drifter. They have to sacrifice a permanent. Pretty easy choice. But they are on a clock. And they can do the fun things with their equipment again. But next turn we can swing in with the Break of Creation as well. They'll be able to chump it, but they would have to sack 2. The question is, do they keep up counterspell? They've gone more on the equipment side than we did when we played this deck. They have kept up Counterspell. Well, we're going to draw. See what we draw. We'll swing in. Should have been swinging in with Ulalek. So I've sacrificed 3 things. Sacrifice tap land. So they can chump the Null Drifter. Could have actually just spawned game commander to sacrifice Ulalek earlier to get rid of other insignificance. And if we hadn't have tapped the Void Claw to draw, I think we could have won. Maybe. We have 5 Eldrazi and they only have 8. Yeah, I think we could have done. But I think we still have a good chance. Yes. We could have just sacked our entire board to spawn game commander and killed them. And we could have done it earlier. I kind of forgot it was any Eldrazi, not just the spawn Eldrazi that it creates. So, managed to beat Nadu. I'm not sure why they didn't utilise their equipment more, but they let a lot of triggers go, I think. So, a really good result in the end. Slime Foot and Squeeze, so Reanimator deck. Probably quite good we don't have much removal, as we probably don't necessarily want to kill their commander. Fleshraker's really good to have early, and then Hedron Archive is ramp, but we don't have anything to do before turn 3, so hopefully we can draw into something. Do like the Line Breaker. Opponent plays Altar Dementia, so a mill version of the deck maybe. What colours do we need? We need red for Line Breaker, green for Thief. We have green and blue, so I'll get a mountain. Play out the coast. I'll play out Fleshraker. They seem to be having some mana problems. They discard a Pitiless Plunderer to take out our Fleshraker. It's kind of annoying, but next time we can play the Archive. They're still stuck on 2, and yeah. When you don't draw any lands, it sucks. So feel sorry for our opponent, but a decent win. We're against Philia, so a Flicker-based deck. Mycospawn is ramp, so is Voidcraw, and Herald's Horn is a good card to have in our opening hand. So we'll play our Cavern of Souls. Or shall we just play out? We'll play our Foundry first. So we're against Mono White. So some removal, but I probably shouldn't be removal heavy. We'll just play out our wastes. And we'll play out our Reef. We'll get down the Horn on Eldrazi. They flash in Philia. So they're going to be abusing ECBs a lot. So we'll play out Cavern, name Eldrazi, play out the Voidcraw. And we'll play out Transformer as well. They seem to have a stick. See, that is growing Philia as well. Right, let's play out the wastes. We can kick the Mycospawn. Or we can play out Ulalek. Let's carry on ramping. We'll get rid of their Citadel. Fair enough. That was what the stick was earlier. And we will get... we'll just get Ugin's Labyrinth. We don't have anything to imprint with it. And we can still play out the Roaming Throne, sorry. Again, naming Eldrazi. They still have something. Maybe they've got a Solitude. So if they want to bounce the Mycospawn, go nuts. Fair enough. We still have Voidcraw. That's an odd sweeper to have with Felia, because Felia grows itself. Hopefully Herald's Horn can get us something. We'll reveal that. And what we'll do, we'll play out Ulalek. And play out the Blood Crypt. Maybe next turn we can double up the Devourer. Reveal the Null Drifter. Yeah, them wiping their own board, I think, was a massive mistake. So that turn, we probably would have copied the Null Drifter, actually, just to draw 4 cards and have 2 4/4s. And then once they played something else, we could target with the Devourer. We could copy Devourer in return afterwards. But having 2 4/4 Flying Annihilators and us drawing 4 was going to be a lot of value. So a really good result. Up against Riel, I'm not sure what Riel does. I've not played her too many times. Well, we can Sylvan Scrying to get Ugin's Labyrinth and ramp with Emrakul and Explore. So I think this is a keeper. What does Riel do? Oh, it's a you can buff it by the amount of instant sorceries in graveyard. So we'll crack the Arid Mesa to get maybe Stomping Grounds. Stomping Grounds as we need green. And then we'll just play out that. We'll shock it in. Get Ugin's Labyrinth. And next turn we can get down Ugin's Labyrinth. Imprint the Emrakul. Play out the Steam Vents. And it can enter tapped. We don't need to play anything else this turn. Thing in the Eyes can be quite troublesome. But luckily we have some big creatures of our own. I imagine they have a counterspell. Well, let's test that theory out. Not much stuck there. So just removal, not a counterspell. Well, they seem to be lacking on land. I'm going to try for our commander. Yep. Better get it out of their hand somehow. We can give it another go. Well, they play out their commander. That means we can play out our Immortal Sun. Can we do both? We can. We have to lose one of the spawns. So the Chrysalis is now 4/5, so that can swing in. And next turn we can Kozilek to draw 12 to 7, sorry, not 12. Hopefully they tap out. Thing in the Ice is getting close to transforming, which bounces all our creatures. Bounce their creatures as well. That's really annoying. We can still Kozilek. Here's hoping they tap out. Have they got a land destruction spell? Stone Rain maybe? They seem to be looking at our land. Well, I think we have to go for Kozilek. We still give a cast trigger even if they counter it. Which they do not. But obviously they are one card away from flipping the thing in the ice. Which I really probably wanted to do on our turn. Because then they'd have to wait on our turn and we might be able to play something in response that can block it. But clearly they are looking to do it on our turn. Probably with a counter spell. Okay, Arena wants to do an update. So again, even if they counter it, we still get the trigger. And we'll get the thing in the ice as well. So that is now our thing in the ice. And we'll discard a Scalding Tarn. So we will, let's swing in. We'll play Unclaimed Territory. Then let's play our commander. We still have 4 mana left. I might counter it. But let's try and get down. We have 5 mana left. Let's get down the Iron Crag and then the Fortnot Seer. Won't be able to copy it, but we can get into their hand. See what they've got. That was silly because now we can see the card they drew, and depending what it is, see if we want to take it. So they're 4 mana. So not worried about River's Rebuke yet. I'm going to take the Summon Denial. Because next turn we can play the Myco Spawn and copy it with Ulalek, basically exiling 2 of their lands, ramping twice. So let's play the Myco Spawn. Let's kicker it. Eldrazi is quite good against counterspells, just because a lot of the things have cast triggers. Let's get a command tower. So obviously they are quite a way away from River's Rebuke now. I'll hold back. But next turn we can Devour of Destiny, take out Riel and Shadow Spear, or if they play anything else. But if they swing in with Riel, I will chump. They're doing something. Maybe a well, I'd say a Shattered Skull smashing, but they only have 4 mana. Tap that, tap that, tap that. Yeah, that is a problem. But we can take out Riel. So you can't take out a Shatter Spear. Shatter Spear's colourless. So, yeah, well, they had mana problems at the start, and I was exiling 2 of their lands. Didn't help. Didn't help them. Helped us tremendously. And yeah, being able to get down that Elder Deep Fiend to tap down their commander. And you know, we sacrifice our commander, but it's going to be destroyed anyway. So a really good result in the end for a bit of a slog of a match. Hello Magic fans, and welcome back to the wrap up. So over 10 games we had a straight down the middle 50% win rate, and that was 50% on the play and on the draw, even though we did play more times on the draw. But that is not unusual, as I said when I was playing before recording. Out of 15 games, we only had 4 on the play, which is a bit ridiculous. It can be a really powerful deck. It can also be very, very slow. There are some cards in the deck which I think just make it so much easier. Forsaken Monument is a really powerful one. But things like Heraldric Banner, which basically can make you draw an extra card if it's an out, the creature's type you name, and reduce the cost and all that. It just makes you get through your deck. One of the weaknesses, I think, is, for your commander to do anything, you need to have a creature in your hand and enough mana to copy it, and oftentimes one of those isn't true. Sometimes you will have the creature in your hand, but you don't have the extra cardless mana to copy it. Sometimes you just won't have anything in your hand. So ways to get through your deck is really good. It did beat Nadu, but that was the opponent played odd. They didn't utilise the triggers as much as they should have done, I don't think. And then, yeah, that was a 20-minute game, which we managed to grind our way through. So I did enjoy it. It is a very powerful deck when it all goes right. If I was going to tweak it, I might put in some removal. There's a new Null Elemental Blast, which I didn't put in. I think that is an easy inclusion. Maybe take out one of the 1 mana creatures like Avacyn's Pilgrim, maybe, and put that in, because that can destroy most things your opponent's plays or counter them for just 1 mana. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in my next video.